Alright, back again. So, let's have a think of what we can do. One of the things we got on our excursion was a halberd, which we've got enough strength and dexterity to use, I think. The halberd's quite a weapon. It's got a long, multiple hit spear attack. It's got a big old swing. Now when it's not hitting anything, you stagger. So that's not necessarily indicative of its weapon arc. So let's have a go. Let's have a crack at these guys and see. Oh yeah, see what the recovery's like on it. Because what we don't want is a weapon that we can't recover from a swing from. But that didn't look too bad actually. The reach is good. I think we might use a halberd for a bit and see how we get on. Let's go to the blacksmith. We got some upgrade materials, and we've got enough souls to do an upgrade of a weapon, maybe two. So let's go and upgrade some weapons and see what we're looking at. So back up the lift. A shortcut unlocked. Yay for shortcuts. Oh shit. I don't know if I move there. I'm trapped and knock myself off. Anyway. Let's go through. So we might notice big guy's not here anymore. Not everything respawns. The same will be for the boar. These guys are undead and they have respawned. This guy won't respawn when we kill him, but look at that. Menacing. But we're not bothered about him at the moment. We will probably come back and kill him in a minute. After we've killed these lads down here. Backstab damage is insane. We're getting a little bonus on the souls for this. We're getting 96 instead of the flat 80. So it's doing quite a bit of damage. So we're getting our overkill bonus on that. That's extremely handy. For enemies that we're going to kill over and over and over and over and over again, may as well get the overkill bonus. What else are we carrying? Not a lot. We can unequip those. We don't need those anymore. We'll keep these three on. So the gold pine resin gives us the electric attack. The black firebomb does more or less the same things that the fireball does. So we're definitely going to keep that on. And 17 out of 52. We're still not fast rolling. We need to be under 25% to fast roll. So if we've got a 52 and we divide that by 4, we've got 13 is our golden number for equipment load. Let's have a look and see if we can take our equipment load down to 13. Let's take our top off. 13.2. Take the gloves off. So now we're going to be moving much quicker. Look at that for a roll. But is it? Check out my back. Wish my back looked like that in real life. Anyway, less gentle lusting after our character. Let's go and meet this blacksmith. And let's be really fucking careful not to hurt him.
Well, you must be a new... I'm Andre. If you require smithing, then speak to me.
Okay, Andre will tell us all sorts about smithing, which is great. We love him for it. What we want to do is we want to modify, reinforce our weapon. Let's have a quick look and see what we could be doing. So our hand axe, we could take up to hand axe +1. It requires 1 titanite shard, and we've got 2, which is handy. It requires 200 souls. We've got 2,000, so we could be doing 88 damage with our hand axe instead of a flat 80. We could take one of our spears up. We don't have the dex to use those, so it's not massively helpful. We could take our halberd up by another 11, which would be kind of cool as well. And the Zweihander would go up by 13, which would be handy as well. So what we're looking at is the current state of our weapons is on the left hand column, and the right hand column is what we get if we upgraded it. I think I can feel a halberd running coming on, so let's upgrade the halberd. Let's upgrade it twice. 132 damage now.
Don't get yourself killed. Night.
Doesn't want to see us go hollow. The question is, do I have any usable souls? Yeah, we got a. Oh, we didn't go to the Firekeeper. Oh, well. Not a huge problem. We'll do it when we die. Oh, we need 14 souls to get out of town. Tell you what, come down here. What we've got down here is a big lock gate and something you could quite easily miss. But we've got a side quest. Now, there's nothing in Dark Souls that actively marks the side quests, or even the main quest for that matter, which is a little frustrating for first-time players, and even the second and third time players. But what we want to do is we want to talk to this guy until he loses, until he finishes all his dialogue trees, of which there's only one branch. It's just one dialogue thing. And then once we've managed to get this gate open, he'll be on the inside.
Pt5, quite honestly. I've run flat up against a wall, or a gate, I should say. The thing just won't budge, no matter how long I wait. And oh, but I waited. So here I sit, in quite a pickle, weighing my options, so to speak.
You're in a pickle. The Onion Knight.
Still closed.
Still closed.
Still
Still closed. Okay, cool. So he'll move once we open it, but he's not going to try and open it himself. Which is a bit of a shame, I think, considering that, you know, he's managed to get all this way. Can't work out how to open the gate. I know how to open the gate, but for anybody who doesn't know how to open the gate, we've got to ring both bells, which are the bells of awakening, as previously discussed. They'll do two amazing things. They'll wake up something that lives in Firelink Shrine for us to talk to and advance the main quest. And they'll also wake up the giants that open the gates. Okay, I can get used to this moveset. Right, let's go and upgrade our Estus Flask. I'm not in the mood for dying with Estus Flask +1. Ah, this left takes forever. So, like I said, I've taken off my armor to make me more mobile. That is a very quick roll and will get us out of a lot of trouble, hopefully. We've got a bit of exploring to do in the top church, and then we're going to go into the boss, and I reckon that we can do that in one sitting. So that was the Estus Flask reinforced. This is us sitting at Firelink Shrine, getting a level. I will take Vitality, just so that we've got a little extra pip up at the top. Because we're not wearing armor, we probably want a little bit more Vitality. When it comes through here. What does that say? Gesture. Interesting. I'm playing in offline mode, so we're not going to see a lot of these markers on the floor, but if you play online, loads of messages etc. come up on the floor, give you hints and tips and awful advice sometimes, but I'm not online because I haven't renewed my Xbox One. Lamau. Right. So to get up the church, we need to go up these stairs. Carefully, handily lit actually. The only lit place in this this little alcove. And on the stairs is one of these knights that we don't really like. But we seem to be doing appreciable damage. He's in, when he's sticking out his sword like that, he's in like a parry state. And so if we attack him in that state, he will likely parry us and absolutely wreck us. Which is annoying. If we can kill him before he heals, or heals properly, completes his healing animation, then we can kill him. Okay, so we've got the channeler here. He's buffing his lads. He's got a load of mobs near him. Can I shoot a fireball through that window? Possibly, possibly not. I'm gonna guess no. So he's a bit of a distraction because we've got quite a few hollows in this room who are going to come and try and wreck us in this hallway. And we want to become the wreckies. Oh. Chandler's got a sick ass spear trident. Oh, we got it. Nice. Fighting upstairs is never ideal, especially when you've got all this ragdoll going off. In the later games, the ragdoll turns off pretty quickly, which is nice. But in this, in the first game, ragdoll is left on. Oh, 3 on a match. Anybody dropped anything cool? No. That's a shame. Channeler sometimes drops his trident and sometimes drops his helmet. His helmet is wicked. It's full of eyes. Very cool. The trident, I'm not sure how practical it is as a weapon, but it does look cool. And really, isn't that all that matters? Large soul of a nameless soldier. Perfect. That gives us plenty of souls. And we can tell we're kind of getting on a bit because we're either getting hordes of minor enemies or kind of a handful of big ones. He's got to launch into attack because he's running. Blocked, well done, mate. Stab in the back. Anything cool? Nothing cool. Alright, fine. So we're going to come up here, we're going to rescue a character. Now, a lot of people don't like this character. Personally, I kind of like him. And if you listen to Hawkshaw, maybe this guy was right all along. Not this guy. That guy's dead and in a barrel. But the guy we're after is a guy up here. Through here. And if you remember, we picked up that key in the barracks or the common room or whatever. And
then I am in luck.
Could you help me?
Could you help me? As you can see, I am stuck without recourse.
Oh, we'll open it. We've got a mystery key, and that opens that. So, what do you think?
Yes, I am Knight Lautrec of Karim. I truly appreciate this. And I guarantee a reward. Only later.
Interesting. He's got some cool looking armor. It's supposed to be like gold or bronze, but it's rusted. So it can't be either of those two because gold doesn't rust and bronze goes green. And that rust is definitely orange. Anyway, we'll leave him to it. He's going to meet us back in Firelink Shrine. He'll give us a coin of some kind. I can't remember what. Oh yeah, it's a golden medal which we would get for certain co-op battles. which we can use to enter a covenant that Solaire is part of. Solaire is the guy who we met down near the dragon, and speaking of, he is here. We're going to get him because I like playing with summons. I think they're a great way to enjoy the game. Here he is, summoned. What a guy. Because he's a phantom, he glows a certain colour, so he's the golden phantom because he's Solaire. And he's part of not the Way of White. He's part of a covenant that makes him gold. If we got summoned into a game, we'd be gold too. Or we might be white, depending on what covenant we're on. Okay, so let Solaire come in, and then we're going to look at these gargoyles. Now, there are a handful of gargoyles here, but the ones we're worried about are those up there. Ooh! I might be a bit quiet while this goes on because I hate this fight and I'm nowhere near geared up for it. So we're going to add the gold pine resin that we still got some of. Because these guys are definitely vulnerable to lightning damage. Let's see up here for the sickest cutscene. Really want is his album. Will do. Oh, he's wrecked. Nice one. We've got a tail axe. So remember, if you're ever in doubt, just use the tools given to you. And that was the easiest gargoyles fight I've ever had. And I'd say there was no one around to watch it. But Solaire was there. And if you're watching this, then you saw it too. We didn't even run out. Look at that. Tasty 10k souls. 7 minutes away from saying, I don't know if we can do it all in one fucking go. We just did it. And if Tim watches this, Tim's about to hit that boss, and I hope you take my advice, Tim. Use the pine resin. Upgrade your weapons. Bring Solaire with you. Now, one of the important things is we wouldn't be able to bring Solaire if we weren't in human form. If we weren't human, his sign wouldn't exist. Now, there's two things to that. One is, when you bring a summon, the boss gets more health. So it would have been a slightly easier fight in terms of dealing damage. And it was an easy fight anyway. Let's not dick around. I did a great job on that. Well done, me. But it would be easier, or at least you'd have to perform fewer hits to do the same amount of damage. You'd have to perform fewer hits and do less damage overall if I was solo. That being said, having another pair of hands available, especially Solaire, because he does lightning spear damage, invaluable, made that fight trivial. You can fall off that roof as well, just so you know. That's us ringing the bell. Well done, me. Well done. Nearly legged it off the end. We're going to be very careful coming down here, because what you can do is just fall off this and die. And I've got 11,000 souls. I don't fancy being dead straight away. Now for a little jump scare. Oh no, who is it? It's Oswald of Kareem.
Greetings. I am Oswald of Kareem, the pond. Thou art a friend. For thee, cometh thou to confess? Or to accuse? He who sins by the name.
Okay, so this guy is a merchant. He sells interesting things. He sells a purging stone, which will remove curse from us if we get cursed. There are a handful of enemies in the game that can curse us. It halves our health until we get uncursed. It's pretty rough, and it's quite expensive to do, to get uncursed, but being cursed is one of the ways that we can fight the ghosts that we couldn't attack down in that flooded area in one of the earlier episodes, episode 2 I think. We can also do a lot of online play stuff, which is where we can get a bulk of the guilty, which is whenever you invade another player's world, you'll get sin, and you can either put sin onto somebody, report somebody's invasion and trespass, or you can get a list of people who have trespassed and invade them back, which is pretty cool. He sells a spell, which I don't know if is useful. I don't think I've ever seen anybody use it ever. Sounds kind of cool, but whatever. He sells a talisman that uses intelligence rather than faith, which is cool, but we still need to use faith to cast miracles. So we could use that to cast the miracles, but we'd still have to have a decent faith stat to be able to cast them even with that. So it's a bit broken in that respect. And he sells 3 rings. The blood bite ring, which stops us getting the bleed status quite as much on us. Poison bite ring, which stops us getting the poison status quite so much on us. Very expensive. And the ring of sacrifice, which means that instead of leaving the bloodstain when we die, we'll just respawn with all our souls. We don't want any of those at the moment. But you know what? Come here, Oswald. We're gonna get your gesture. Well, what is it? I like that gesture. Anyway, so now the roof is safe. Let me just cheese it across the roof. Have we got anything? Are we still carrying that axe? Okay, I think we're committed to the halberd run now, at least to an extent. And we got a bunch of souls, and we know that there's a couple of dudes who are going to be waiting for us at Firelink Shrine. There's that one guy who we released from the little prison cell up here. Why a church has a prison cell is another question for another time. But there's at least him, and we should talk to him to move his quest on. And I believe Petrus may have some friends now that we've rung this bell, or it might be after we've rung the next bell. But we'll have a look. Tidy up some admin stuff, take a couple of levels. Sometimes these guys don't spawn in until you've sat at the shrine, which is fine, but whatever. Some god rays coming through the ceiling. Using real blood. Let's put some levels on. Let's get a vitality. Let's get a couple of strength. Let's get an endurance. That should give us a little bit more stamina, a little bit more health, a little bit more damage with this weapon. How does it scale again? Halberd is scaling D and C, strength and dex. So it's going to scale better with dex than it is with strength. But really, we're probably still going for the Zweihander build once we can become kind of practical with it.
Ah, hello there. I have your reward. Please, accept it.
Thanks.
I am grateful to you. Not enough for you.
I love the laughter. But yeah, he's got really rusty looking armor. Anyway.
Our futures are murky.
Our futures are murky.
Our future.
Okay, right, he doesn't want to say anything to us. This one, she can't speak. She's just the lady sat in the bottom of there. Tending to the fire somehow. I don't understand how, but she is. So now where do we want to go? We got another key. So the dungeon cell key opened the dungeon cell that we were in. The undead asylum key opened the top of the undead asylum for us. Big pilgrim's key let us out. Residence key let us into, or lets us into, a couple of houses in the undead burg. The mystery key was what we released Lautrec with, and the basement key opens the lower undead burg, and that's the last key we've got, and that's where we're going. Now there's two ways we could get there. We could go back through the parish and fight our way back through. Might not be the worst idea. Or we could go back through the undead burg, which I think is a slightly longer but slightly safer way. Let's go this way. Overkill on that? Yeah, we get overkill on that. These guys all dying in one hit, which is lovely to see. And I would say at this point we've not really upgraded a lot of weapons or anything. We kind of haven't. We've only upgraded the halberd. I mean, obviously the halberd does a lot more damage than the axe that we came in here with in the first place. It does roughly 1.5 times as much. Maybe a little bit more at the moment. So we shouldn't be surprised that we're absolutely wrecking these guys. But on top of that, we've become more skillful. We've learnt the movesets either passively or on purpose. We know when they're going to attack, what it looks like when they're going to attack, and what kind of attack they're going to do based on how they draw their weapons at us. So for the most part, we haven't even been hit. With the exception of getting our shield hit, and this guy, we didn't see jumping at us. And that guy who I attacked too early. Pull him out. And that one when I tried to do something cool. There we go! That's what we like. Okay, just going to take this bonfire. Just so we can respawn here. So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to get into the lower undead burg, which is great, but it's also attached to this, the undead burg. You can see most of it from here if we kill these guys. See where we're going down there. Let's get rid of some of these fireball guys and we'll be able to have a proper look. I'm quite happy with the halberd as our primary weapon now. One of the things you find with Dark Souls is you end up kind of attaching yourself to a weapon a little bit, because all of the weapons kind of come from certain weapon types. So yeah, that's where we're going down the bottom. Yeah, certain weapon types. So if we have a look. So the short sword is a sword. It's a regular thrust. So weapon type is straight sword, and they all have more or less the same movement set. Ultra great sword for the Zweihander. That's an ultra great sword. Has a regular attack type, so it just smacks around. Estoc is a thrusting sword. Hand axe is an axe. Battle axe is an axe. So the weapon type is the same, so the moveset is going to be similar. Gargoyle tail axe is also an axe. So the smooth, the smooth. Put your teeth in, mate. So the type is going to be the same, and the weapon set, the move set is going to be similar. Morningstar is a hammer. That's the only hammer we've got. We've got a couple of spears. They're going to just be thrusting and perhaps whacking, and then the halberd is a halberd, and it's going to have its own moveset. And we have to be mindful of the moveset we want to use, because in some places the moveset that we get might not be very helpful to us. With the halberd it kind of is, because we've got a thrust which lets us attack in small corridors, and we've also got the swing which lets us attack at groups. And because it's long, we get a decent range on it, so when these guys are winding up their attacks, we can kind of see it. We can see it coming, we can anticipate that, and make sure that our weapon is swinging and they run into that swinging weapon. There's a guy at the bottom. Should we see if we can take it? See if we can take it. These guys scare the crap out of me even now. Oh, no, and there was another guy. What the fuck? We're going to run away from the knight because we're not wearing any armour. He'll do us a tremendous amount of damage if he catches us. He can't climb ladders though, so... I don't think he can climb ladders. He's ambitious though. His mate can climb ladders though. He's got some black fire bombs. This guy's more scary than the gargoyle for me. I hate these guys. They can get in the sea. Did he drop anything? Titanite chunk? Very nice. Alright. There's another one on the other side of the bridge, actually. Is there still a guy up here? No. That was the guy who chased us. And I don't think we've got the key to this. It's locked. I can't remember what that key is called. Watchtower key or tower key, or I don't know. Some kind of key. There's a couple of guys on top of the tower behind us. Now they act as a kind of visual guide, if anything, right? Because when we get to about here, the boss comes down. But they'll have shot us in the back beforehand, so if we didn't know about them first off, we'd find out about them before we got to the boss. And unless we were just running at it, we'd go up there and remember that we could actually fall down and do extra damage on the boss, provided we were able to make that connection. You know, if that's your thing, if making connections is something you're able to do. Okay. So, basement. Nice! And a long ladder. Xbox players, hold B to descend. PC and other players, whatever you press to roll will descend if you hold it. And if we come up here, this is the best bit. This is why we wanted that bonfire. We're back here. It sounds like something's following us. This guy. Interesting. I want a firebomb. That's handy. So we're in Lower Undeadburg now, which I think is where we'll call it a day. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.